here. Why don't we take an introduction, see who you are, what you're up to, and then we'll work from there.
Right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's great being here today. It's very exciting for me because this is my first time attending to C3. So thank you again for being here. My name is Adrian Shatku. I run a company called UNIFI Communications. We are a New York-based international carrier operator, basically focusing on providing wholesale services, carrier services for mobile, fixed, alternative, cable, wholesale, you name it, operators around the world. I've been running UNIFI for almost 12 years, and we've seen a huge trends and transitions in our business. And for the last 2 years, more than ever, obviously with the effect of the smartphone business, we see obviously our data skyrocketing, but we see our margins from the other side. So makes being here today and yesterday are very, very important. I have 3 slides, so
anytime you like.
Very, very quick, and I'm happy that we're actually the only carrier of our size,
yes,
and on the wholesale side to be at Silicon Valley. So to give you an idea of the areas that we are focused on, we are seeking help, and if anyone is around, feel free to reach me. We don't have any huge process. We're very entrepreneurial driven, so I'm reachable. We are trying to see, and we're evaluating and reviewing sort of a unified mobile platform which could be white and private labeled to the operators around the world as they are trying to respond also to all these freeway applications that have become now more and more OTT providers, and where the operators obviously are having a hard time in how to justify the model. We are looking also to improve our Class 5 switching platform, which will enable us to integrate easier with OTT providers and in return take those services and market to our customers around the world. And improving and becoming more automatic in our data spreadsheets and rates and some of the marketing tools that we use to be more efficient. One particular product that we have been working for the last 8 months, and we're hoping to have it in the first quarter last year, is basically what we call the UNIFI mobile app platform, which takes the concept of Skype or Google Voice or all the other, many other platforms that are around to the local level by assigning sort of a local number, the local content, local feed, and some additional features that traditional telephony doesn't give it to you. So if there's anyone around that's helped us a little more in what we're trying to do, we're looking, and please reach out to me. So really that's about it. The next slide has my contact info, and I'm happy to take questions.
Great. We'll leave this up for a minute or two and ask some questions about the prior slide, because that's pretty interesting. First of all, I'll tell the audience, I think it's great to have you here, because everybody knows that the name Verizon is had a good household name, and I think when a developer builds an application, or when a startup does something that's working out, the first name that they get here is, well, I'm going to go to Verizon. And that's a great company, a lot of opportunity there, but it's not necessarily the first door everyone should know. And there's overlooked companies doing interesting things in the core, like you are in the tier 1 area. And you also have a driving need for innovation. It's not like a company like yours can fall behind. And we see from your slide there, you're looking almost, you're going to build a kind of consumer-facing fund using VOIP as a vehicle to get there, right? And that will make you almost instantly like a consumer-facing company, right?
It's natural for a developer or an innovator to look for companies like Verizon and to try to pitch an idea or an innovation strategy. But there's actually a lot of UNIFIs out there. And speaking in our business, and I'm also the founder of the company, is that in our core competency, it's not innovation. It's really tough to innovate internally.
Yep.
So we constantly engage in external innovation, whatever it is, strategic, joint, or whatever structure is possible. You know, we're out there a lot. there's a lot of UNIFIs out there.
There are. There's a tremendous amount of companies that are doing interconnection and pairing data and have fiber runs over some specific areas, but not necessarily to his front door and not the whole world. Where does your fiber go?
We are very regional focused. So someone was asking me today in here, like, how do you guys make money? It's so difficult. and the way how we do it is we stay in a region that we know well, and we purchase or aggregate or build capacity based on sort of a model which is refreshed every 6 months. So we're primarily focused in West and North Africa, Western and Eastern Europe. We go all the way down to Western Balkans, and some parts of sort of the South Caucasian, the Stan areas, and that's when we stuck there. We don't do much in Latin America, although we do a little bit on the Caribbean side and a little bit of Central America, but primarily focused in Africa, North and West, Western Europe, and Eastern Western Balkans.
And you interconnect all those regions as well with your fiber?
Yes.
That's so. This is there's so, as you said, there's a number of telecoms that do this kind of thing and have these regional focuses and these regional lines, and every one of them has need for core network equipment, the need for software-defined network innovations, and anything, all these things, packetization, improvements in compression and things like that. Coarse wave multiplexing and other multiplex technology, right? You're looking for innovations, I imagine, in all these places. But once going back to your opportunity to become a consumer-facing service as well through VOIP, is that the kind of thing you would seek to do with a unified brand, or would you look to a partner like a Vonage who already has a consumer brand and kind of partner with them on selling those services, or maybe a startup like a 2600 Hertz or something like that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We looked at several different ways of doing it. One was, okay, let's just go private label. We're not in the business of building apps. We don't know how to do them.
Yep.
And we kicked around for 6 months internally, sketching and doing it. Like, no, let's look at another way of doing it. We decided to go on our own, mainly because when you're building a consumer-based product, you either do it meticulously well, or otherwise you could end up building a product that is not very appealing to the consumers. And because we have build a network, which we like to leverage and capitalize on it, all these countries that we operate, we felt that was a benefit for us.
And so you're going to go to market. Will you be regionally limited to where you sell these services, to where you think you have the best core network, or can you go anywhere?
Yeah. Initially, we'll probably be limited in about 40+ countries, but then eventually, through partnerships and others, we will expand globally. I think I had a number in my slide. If you go back to...
Sure. Can you put the slides back up and maybe go back one?
The second one.
Okay.
But, ITU source numbers, but the mobile device market, is already in the 5 billion range.
Yeah.
So it's a huge critical mass.
Yeah. So is this like particular app? So it's a mobile app that people would run. They would be buying a data service from some kind of a mobile network. We're getting global voice services with value-added, rich communication services such from UNIFI.
That, and also we are thinking to also target particular mobile operators, especially the ones that are not associated with these big groups of, the Deutsche Telecoms and the Vodafones in the world. Right? There's a lot of mobile operators around the world that are owned and run independently, and they constantly think and look for someone to build something that could also help them increase their outputs and help them fight the erosion that they get especially in the decline of the international traffic. And we think there's a very good market and sort of a private label or a service-based contract with these operators around the world. And we talk to them every day. And that was a response also to them.
And have you considered becoming an MVNO and working with a carrier that's a wholesale operator like Sprint or someone like that, and kind of bundling in the mobile connectivity with UNIFI service?
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
That's what I hear.
We are working actually to acquire one.
Yeah.
I can tell you who they are because we are in some strict NDAs, but we are looking at the MVNO even here in the States, and also we see an MVNO opportunity also in Africa. There's almost no MVNO business there, so it's starting to pick up.
Sounds good. And I want to go back one slide here. There we go. So these are your kind of your priority listings.
So this is sort of the next 6 to 12 months.
That ties in directly to your goals and ambitions. So can you, like, can you drop any company names that are doing the kind of things you want to see, so you can see what kind of
I mean, in the switching platform, for example, there is a bunch out there, especially the SBC market.
Yeah.
Broadsoft is there, Nextone is there, Sonos is there. On the IP side, obviously, we are the headquarters. We are a customer. On the mobile platform, this is where we have been struggling because we looked at a bunch of providers.
Yeah.
We talked to many of them, and there's sort of a spread across the world at times. So we decided to build a team internally. We have been doing that internally for now.
So all the companies you mentioned there, they're not the biggest companies in Tel. You didn't say Ericsson. You didn't say, so you're looking for different kind of disruptive partners, right?
Well, we looked at Ericsson as well, and we looked at Alcatel as well, and we do with both. What we are looking to do is we want to do more automatic. We want the system to be flexible. We want the system to work in the cloud. We want to be a class 4, class 5 to support all the things that we're doing, whether it's roaming or regular voice or this an IPX model. We want that system to be able to be that flexible.
And so this is a very short-term plan. You said 6 to 12 months.
Yes. We've been very aggressive this year.
How do you feel with your ability to execute that quickly? It's a big effort for you.
Not easy.
Not easy. And then what kind of capital expenditure does that mean for your company?
It means a bit because our business is known not to be on a huge margin business, so we try to keep our costs very efficient. But it's significant for us, but it takes us to the next level. And whatever it is this year, the next 12 months is something that we have to do.
So essentially, you're trying to march up the stacks in the USI story, right? You're trying to go from that lower level
layers, yes.
And all the way to the top layers, actually, right?
Yeah.
Consumer facing. So would you add, once you get the service up and running, would you be adding any kinds of alternative top level consumer facing services? What kind of stuff would you be offering?
We're thinking more of the enterprise, especially UNIFI Communications, where everything is changing from the hardware, the layers of the service. That's something that we have been flirting for the last 2 years. And we're thinking that the enterprise is something that we want to do as well.
So I think it's exciting, it's disruptive, it's going to bring another competitor into local markets and enterprise markets, although enterprise has a number of competitors there already on the last mile consumer side. But how do you intend to engage and find these enterprise customers? That's a difficult market that requires boots on the ground.
It is, and we're thinking boots on the ground partnerships. Luckily, we're at Kerton, New York, so we have an enormous amount of enterprise. We can test this. But yes, and we're thinking to get more engaged with the Silicon Valley. And we're looking for consultants and people to help us out how to be more engaged and how to bring more innovation to us. And we're very entrepreneurial, so I can do somebody to play and say, okay, let's go.
You can make the decision as a small
right. And we're a small company. We're a north 20 million company. I've been around for 13 years, but it's a fun environment.
So I expect right now, you're selling fiber and connectivity services to telcos as well as enterprise customers.
Yes.
And so
and governments.
And governments as well. Okay. So any big customer, you're able to connect them across oceans and things like that. And you're probably going to start with those same companies. So right now they're buying phone service from somebody and data service transatlantic from you.
Yes.
And you're trying to say, listen, you've got your transatlantic from us, how about some dial tone as well?
Yeah. In fact, one area that I'm very interested as well is because we collect all this amount of data, we don't do nothing with it. That someone could come up, and we've been looking at all sorts of ways, what do you do with this data? So you could go to a customer and say, okay, here's your data, here's some analytics, and here's what you can do more, and focus here, and focus there.
So that's a value-added service you could offer your business customers. as a package with the connectivity service. So you'd offer them a multi-play service with voice, data, and internet, analytics on top. Would you offer all the remote office connectivity and VPNs services?
Yeah, we do that as well, and also satellites as well. Yeah.
So, and how much of that is new to what you're offering? Like, how much do you have to build to launch this?
It's basically what we try to do is we're customer centric. So the customer says, okay, we're doing some stuff in Libya for the moment, and there's no fiber, there's nothing there. So we're talking to several satellite providers. It's okay, this customer's going there. So it's a customer sort of a centric-driven expansion.
Yeah. Good. So so Libya, so Northern Africa.
Yeah.
And what proportion of your traffic is it a lot of U.S. to all these points, or is it largely within those regions?
I would say a lot of it is come from Europe, quite a bit also from the United States. So we'll probably split it maybe roughly, I would say 60-40, 55.5. So.
And what technologies have you put in place? So whose undersea cable are you traveling over? Do you guys own it, or you lease it?
We aggregate, we buy, all the transatlantic where cables are available. We're building one of our own, one particular region. We're actually about to launch another one.
And what kind of throughput are you getting out of the fiber that you're laying right now?
Or basically, we see a huge uptick for data. I mean, I was talking with someone yesterday here in the valley that said, well, we got data ponds, data lakes, data oceans. What we see is data crude. It's a lot of data being moved around the world now.
It just keeps growing for you. Yeah. So, but so if you had a fiber line, how much are you getting through one line?
The systems today obviously are very flexible.
Yeah.
You can already do one web lake at 100G and plus.
Right.
But we're doing now at a terrible level, so it's a lot of it.
Yeah. Are you constantly upgrading the German lens to keep getting more through the same fiber, or is it kind of takes a few 5-year chunks or something like that? How frequent?
Not on the old system. You have to, and there's quite a bit of technologies out there that are very flexible and affordable to upgrade them.
Yep.
And the new one, obviously, we try to use the new web lake technology, multiplexers.
Great. I think that's the last chance to ask any questions on UNIFI, but I think I'll wrap up with you. I think it's really interesting. I think there's another opportunity here that's been overlooked a lot. People think it's just a classic telco. There's all kinds of people who need core networking and innovation, core networking solutions. But including UNIFI and other similar companies operating around the world. So I'd like to thank you for coming here and presenting us with that opportunity. And once again, if we could go back to the contact info, you said you were a small, simple company.
24 hours.
Here's the method of working with UNIFI. Right there. All right, great. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for the opportunity.